Former governor of the state of Florida, Jeb Bush, was this year's speaker at Scotiabank Jamaica's 4th annual lecture series on July 18. I managed to get an exclusive television interview with him following his presentation.
We have a debt problem, a serious debt problem. Roughly 60 cents out of every dollar we earn goes towards repaying debt. How do we get out of this stranglehold?
Well, first of all, I think there needs to be a long-term strategy, because that stranglehold, as you say, isn't going to go away overnight. So there needs to be patience to whittle down the debt over a longer period of time than months. Secondly, I think that the aid that a country like Jamaica receives ought to be targeted towards the areas that will accelerate economic activity, so that if you build a bigger pie, the percentage of debt service by definition will decline. You have the same level of debt, but with a growing economy, there'll be more income to be able to invest in education and taking care of the most vulnerable, the environment, infrastructure, fighting crime, all of those things, whatever the priorities are of the country. And then third, there are ways to, and I'm sure that the government of Jamaica is looking at ways to renegotiate the extension of debt, changing the terms of it so that the burdens aren't placed immediately on the taxpayers of the country, that they can be extended out over a period of time.
I also asked Governor Bush how a small island state like Jamaica could rid itself of the kind of bureaucracy our private sector often spoke about.
In all honesty, I don't believe the role of government is to create jobs. It is to create an environment where jobs are created. And so there should be a discussion of this in Jamaican terms, not by an outsider like myself, but in Florida we cut 10,000 jobs out of state government, but our budget grew and we took care of more people that needed help, and we invested in longer term things. That to me is a approach that ought to be looked at. If the size of government makes it harder for higher wage jobs to be created in the private sector, then there needs to be adjustments.
Recently, there has been a proliferation of get-rich-quick money schemes in Jamaica. What do you think creates that kind of phenomenon? And how do you deal with it?
Well, you deal with it by